So I want to talk a little bit, I want to revisit the issue of disinformation. It is similar to the policy they use now for pollution. Industry has been dealing with pollution through a policy called dilution is the solution. So in other words, you just dump your pollution into the ocean and you dilute it with so much seawater that it doesn't seem to matter anymore. Okay, so we've been doing that for time immemorial now, and that approach isn't working anymore for pollution. Now it's similar to the way they use disinformation to swamp the truth with a giant avalanche of imitative objects, innumerable counterfeits. So you can't tell where the truth begins and ends. They used to control information in the corporate press almost perfectly, and now with the internet, because the truth can get out, they have to absolutely create a deluge of disinformation so you never find the truth on the internet, because you have to trawl through 1,000 times as much disinformation. So they did this with the crop circles. They were so worried about the crop circles that they figured they had to make fake ones. So this, I believe, is a real crop circle. And this is a depiction of an event in a particle accelerator. And the Celestials were trying to explain something to the physicists about what happens in a particle accelerator, because it has to do with transdimensional physics. So the powers that be were worried about that. So they started making fake crop circles. I think that's probably one of their early efforts. And then they also made fake ones like this to make a mockery of the crop circles, so scientific community would never look at them. And then they kind of made artsy fartsy fake crop circles. And then they started to get better at it. And they started to make fake crop circles that were so polished and so good, you couldn't tell whether or not that's a real one or a fake one. And then some of the advertising agencies got involved, and they started to make fake crop circles that were so high quality, it's hard to tell if that's real or fake. Now it turns out this image is part of an ad for bongs, pot pipes, glass pot pipes. Now here's a very high quality this looks like a depiction of something that might be a high density object, like a black hole with the Schwarzschild radius around it. And so if that is a fake crop circle, it's so good that I can't tell if it's real or if it's fake. And then this one I think they were going to use in the fake alien invasion scenario, where they could say, you see, they warned us about impact scenarios if we don't do what they say. I don't know if they're going to go ahead with this fake alien invasion. And then they do it in other things. I can't tell if this is real or if it's a latex dummy. And then in the realm of free energy, here is an AutoCAD depiction of the Milo motor. And I can't tell if that's a real free energy device or an imitation of one. You know, the same strategy that they use to flood reality with so many counterfeits. You can't tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. Now this one I think is real, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I had a gut feeling that it was real. And here's what I wrote on here. Gotta be some kind of machine powered by bad motrons. And then I thought maybe Scotty in Star Trek would say, Captain, she is cavitating gravitons. Well, guess what? I found out online there is something known as the Searl Homopolar magnetic energy converter, okay? And that is a real free energy device. And here are some of the diagrams for it. You can see it's very close to what the crop circle depicts. It has those 12 magnets on the outside, and those are rolling around the ring like gears on a orbital gear assembly. Here's another picture of it. And this is a free energy device. And a high dollar mock-up of this thing has been built by the Russians. And guess what happens when you fire it up? It exhibits tremendous lift, anti-gravity, electrogravitics. So they have to tie it down with big steel beams and concrete foundations and everything, tie it to the ground because the damn thing tries to take off. So this is why the government is so worried about the crop circles, because if the physicists began to study them, they are a technology transfer attempt by the Celestials to our scientific community. And they want to keep us trapped in the money system. Of course, what the ultra rich don't realize is a full utilization of the transdimensional physics would allow them to materialize any object, any building, any space yacht. They could have a floating city with its own atmosphere in permanent orbit around any celestial body. They can inhabit other planets around other stars. And there's no reason for us to stay back in this medieval system, this zero-sum game called money. Now, these are real crop circles. This has something to do with the fabric of consciousness. And here is one that depicts a reticulum or a net. I don't know what it means, but if the physicists studied these, they're smart and they could figure it out. This depicts a cubical lattice spinning in, I believe, the consciousness field that surrounds everything and of which everything is made, I guess. Here's another depiction of that reticulum. And one of them shows the reticulum undamaged, and another one shows the reticulum with a large tear in it. And Stephen Greer has said that the thermonuclear devices actually cause damage to the fundamental reality construct that we all live in. Now here's another depiction of how disinformation works. Let us say this little squiggle here depicts the truth, whatever the truth may be. And the disinformation operatives, they disguise the truth with 1,000 times as much disinformation, so you can't discern where is the truth. And of course, if you put the little piece of graph paper on there, the truth is here somewhere. There it is. You can see you put it on there and it does line up. Okay, so there it is. All right, it's been disguised with so much disinfo that you can't see it. So that's what they do on the internet, is they bury Stephen Greer with so much garbage, like David Icke and Stuart Swerdlow and Carrie Cassidy and Courtney Brown and Linda Moulton Howe, and who else is a disinformation operative? Well, most of the Montauk legend is disinformation, but there are particles of the truth in there. For instance, the Philadelphia experiment, which took place in Rhode Island, I believe began with Tesla's mathematics, and they did achieve temporal and spatial dislocation, and I believe that they did materialize some kind of creature. So the truth seems to be the enemy of the powers that be. They don't want us to know that in the larger scheme of things, our military apparatus is like a flea circus in a jar, okay? They are not the powers that be. And the elder races don't want to dominate us. They're trying to give us a hand up. And they're trying to give us such advanced technology, we don't have to have poor people or ignorant people anymore. And even the ultra wealthy would be far richer than they are now. And so in this picture, you can see the waves moving through and past those piers in the sand. Now I'm saying this is symbolic of the governments of the world who are going to be moved through and past by the general population when they start finding out what the truth is. And they begin to realize we don't have to be imprisoned by the poverty system anymore. We can have free energy. We can use the incredible medical technologies that are being hidden from us, that are being suppressed by the FDA. There is no reason for us to cling to the past. Now, I do sympathize with leaders of governments who need the billions of dollars from oil and coal to pay for government programs. They think it would be a huge waste to just leave all of that in the ground. However, if we were allowed to utilize the advanced physics, we wouldn't need money at all. We could build housing for the poor. We could create magnificent education for everyone. All government programs could be infinitely better than they are now. It's by confining ourselves to an obsolete disenfranchise of money that we're sort of inadvertently impoverishing everyone. The way money is fundamentally designed is there's not enough of it to go around. That's how it obtains its illusion of value, is through its rarity. And in fact, they're giving us unlimited wealth, and we just have to figure that out. And governments have to come to realize that. And part of learning the truth on this is somehow we have to get past all the secrecy restrictions. Now, I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you take apart the money system. It's going to take people a lot smarter than me to figure out how to do that. But that's where we're headed.